You've been a while. There you go. Then you can spend 2 weeks on vacation for not buying coffee at Starbucks, but that's your sandwich routine. My daughter is doing well. She's she'll be a sophomore this year. She ends up not going to private school because Gabrielino is right down the street from my house. And who's in school? And it's free. And I know, right? Mhm. Mhm. Here. And what do you have today? Americano? There's your trickster. Remind me what that is. You said hazelnut? You want anything else? I think now. Before the break, you guys get your car, okay? Outside the window. Yep. And we pour on top. Did you want to prepare? No. You're very welcome. Here you go, Adrian. How's your son? Ah, oh, where do you go now? Okay. Tell the safe club. It's easier to get in and hurt from the lived an hour and a half out. So he wasn't really alone, but he got to the point where he was like, I've been spending acting, or like, I'm spending too much time out and about and not focusing on my Yeah. Well, nice to see you.
Yeah, you too.
Take care. 5800. So 5600. You're welcome. Having a flutter and I'm going to be benching so I can pull lock in
You read with the what?
Ready? What kind of a little bit more
Good morning, Mo. How are you? Doing good. How about yourself?
How are you? Good, thank you.
Good, good.
Genetically, one
Nathan, your mobile water?
Were you able to catch yesterday's vlog?
Here's your water. Very much happy.
Yeah, everything's good. Yeah. I was just kind of disappointed yesterday out in Burbank. Thought it would have been a bigger, better place. Sad to say. Wasn't.
Nathan?
I was just over here on Craigslist trying to look for a job. Ooh, where is this? Um, Okay, well, I know where I'm going. Why can't I send this? There. All right, cool. Descanso Gardens it is. Looks good. I've been looking. This is my last week for class, actually. Come to find out, I thought I had, for some reason, I thought I actually had 1 week, not realizing that I've already just about completed the 3 weeks as requested. So, prerequisite. So, yeah. Oh, no. No, not even. I can't make it like this. I need to have money on my in my pocket and in my credit card. So, no, I like having money. Do that. Oh, ooh. Oh, I'm so tired. Oh, really haven't stopped. There's only one day that I took off, and that was Monday. Last week, Monday. Yeah. course. It's my most expensive habit. It goes pretty quick. It eats away at my credit card. Eats away at my money. It's my one addiction. Thank goodness. If any addiction one is to have, should it be coffee only and only coffee. Goodness. Irma, good morning. I got your card the other day. Thank you. Did you catch yesterday's vlog, Burbank? I was so disappointed. You know, uh, 2 3 cups a day only. That's about what I average, 2 to 3 about a day, including a frappuccino with maybe 2 or 3 ad shots. You know. And I got another card yesterday from Nathalie from France. Kind of hope she pops up. So I got one from Hawaii, one from San Jose, and one from France. Little by little, taking up space in that bubble thought thing that I made on my wall. I know. No, I went yesterday to Burbank just on a whim, and I hadn't been to the mall that they have there. And sad to say, I was disappointed. For as big as the mall was, and for all the money that is in Burbank, that mall is about 50% at most occupied. It's very empty. It's very sparse. Across the way, down the road, maybe a mile or so, they have an open air type of mall. And that place, I know for certainty, is always more packed. But that Burbank Mall is terrible. It's beautiful looking. I mean, it's 3 levels. The food court is awful. I think it's the worst mall in America. Actually, I was kind of dubbing it the shitty Mall of America. There's the Mall of America, then there's the crappy Mall of America, and that's Burbank. I just don't understand it. The Old Town shopping area is more occupied than that mall was. But the only thing that was exciting was these 3 young girls that kind of photobombed my vlog. They're like, "Oh my God, are you vlogging? Are you a YouTuber?" And I'm like, "Yeah." They're like, "Hi." And I'm like, "Okay. All right, ladies. Yeah, all right. What's your names? Blah, blah, blah." I'm like, "Okay." All right. So funny. That was like the highlight. Other than that, it was just, I know. So do I, but excuse me. Maybe I'll have to go back there and go to the shopping center, which is nicer. Not a lot of shade, but it's bigger. I think it's owned by the same company that Arnold Schwarzenegger owns. Uh, quite a ways back, Arnold Schwarzenegger bought some property next to the GMC plant in San Fernando Valley, and right next to it was kind of a it was a declining piece of property. Anyhow, he and some other investors decided to turn it into an open air type of shopping strip mall, kind of horseshoe shape, right next to the GMC plant. And I think they purchased the GMC plant as well, and they refurbished it, made a nice shopping center, and they called it the plant in tribute to the GMC, assembly plant. So it's pretty cool, and I think they own the same property out in Burbank as well. It has the same architectural design, uh, same layout, same uniqueness. So I make it my point to be knowledgeable in the history of said city, said state, whatever. So I try to, because it's important, you know. It's like if you move to a different, country, your primary job is to learn the language. So you have to adapt. You can't be just a schmuck running around against the wind. So. But yeah, I mean, it took me about less than 15 minutes to walk around the entire, well, 7 minutes to walk around the inside of the mall, all three levels, and then about less than 15 minutes to walk around the outside of the entire Burbank Mall. That was just that was disappointing. But at least the best thing that came out of it is at least I got to get a bit of a workout in 101-degree weather. So that was a plus. At least I'm getting out. At least I'm not being a bump on the log. I just really hate being idle in life. I have to be moving around. I think that's one of the reasons why I like amusement parks a lot, especially Disneyland, because I get to be so active and move around and walk around so much. It's kind of funny because when I moved to Wisconsin, even though I was heavy and I got heavier, I was still very active. So I love this place. It's so funny. The employees just kind of like they're like, oh, there's the guy on YouTube, and then the customers they're just like, oh my god, who's he talking to? Oh my god, he's on. Oh, let's not be seen. I love having a YouTube channel. It's fun and unique. And it's kind of a good way to have privacy. Because like, if there's people like sitting by, and I start to set up my gear, and I start talking into the laptop, people get uncomfortable and they pick up and they leave. Oh, I'm so tired and I wanna go home. Yes, I am going to need a second le cup of coffee. Una segunda taza de café. Café rico. Oh, I just want to get more more postcards and more cards from everybody. It's nice, you know. I love seeing handwritten material. And then Nathalie, she told me, you know, it's a beautiful postcard. She lives in the southern part of France, and in France, and I could. It's kind of cool. Sí, claro. It's cool because it's very Latin, so you know we can understand it. You know, especially like reading and speaking Filipino. One one of Latin heritage can understand and read it. So she wrote some things in France, and I could read it. I took French in high school, and I was terrible at it. And then on the top, she's like, por avion, by plane. It was cool. It was really sweet. That was like my highlight of the day after coming back from Burbank. And then I went to the table to go check mail, and there's a postcard. And I knew it was like for me, and there it was from Nathalie from south of France. And I'm like, yay, cool. That was so awesome. That was my highlight. So more postcards, more letters from you folks. Be patient with me. I'm getting a refill.
That money you could have paid the hot dog.
Young man, you are richer than I am, that's for sure. If you only knew where the depths of hell I just came out of 3 weeks ago.
We all been there, though. We all been Have a good day, man.
You too, thank you. All right. All right. Actually, I'm happy that class is almost over. That way I can have a little bit more freedom in the morning and push back the live streams a little bit later since everybody seems to get up a little bit later. Um, I'm the only one that gets up around, especially in the house. I'm the only one that gets up in the morning. Everybody else doesn't really drags their fannies out of bed until around noon, actually. I'm the only one that gets up that early. I don't understand it. So, and I know, especially Jan says, well, you should just, sleep in. I can't sleep in. It drives me up the wall. There's so little time in the day, and there's so much that I need to accomplish. The more I push it back, or even try to, the only way to nail me to the bed is if I take a couple of sleeping pills. I want to do that. What do they say? Idle hands are the devil's tools. Yeah, I don't like having too much time on my hair. Like even now, I keep looking at the right side of my computer, and I keep looking at the clock, thinking, okay, can't class start any sooner? I just need to get things done. Oh. It's one thing that I loved about when my daughter was younger is that she would just keep me so preoccupied, especially being a stay-at-home parent. From the time it was to get up in the morning, kiss my wife off to go to work, the time she would get home from work, I mean, the day just flew by. And it's like, oh my God, it's almost time for Holly to get home. I got to start making dinner. Children do serve a purpose. They occupy your life. Oh, I can see the streams of smoke from the fires. Oh my God, that's terrible. Oh my God, there's a oh shoot, you know what? There's a fire close by. Disculpe, señor. ¿Se ha fijado si hay un fuego cerca?
No,
Parece por el humo que está, mira.
sí, ¿verdad?
Parece que está saliendo para el sur.
Sí, no, la verdad no.
Yeah, there looks like there's a fire and the smoke is coming down from the south. Tan horrible. We've got so many fires. It's really sad. I feel so sorry for these people. It's starting to get chilly again. I don't know. It seems to be because I could see two sets of streams of smoke, and I'm being obscured by the front part of the building, but it looks like it's coming down from the southeast. Yeah. I could always check out Facebook or KTLA. It's got to be close. Let's see. Sometimes they don't even. They're not so quick to respond. Current fires in Southern California. Thousand something acres. Something about 60 to 80% of California is on fire. It's horrible. Mendocino. Yeah. Terrible. We had one in off the 10 freeway in Pasadena the other day. It was a Friday. Small brush fire that broke out. They haven't said what caused it, but it also looks suspicious because right there, right along the freeway and the riverbed is where there's a lot of homeless encampments that strewn the line of the freeway and the bike paths. So those kind of little breakouts, I always get suspicious of. It's usually man-made or man-caused. Excuse me. The fires that are out of the middle of nowhere. Sometimes, those fires. What a lot of hikers, and this is why they say if you go hiking, don't take any glass bottles. Take reusable containers. Because a lot of common fires that happen is someone has a bottle, they'll throw it, they'll be hiking, and over time, as perchance, that small piece of glass is laying at an awkward position or just the right position where it actually focuses, and it turns into a magnifying glass, and the sun beams down. And you learn this in Boy Scouts. I mean, and it just starts to cook, and fire breaks out. Well, I don't know if they teach that now, but they used to at least. Cub Scouts and Boy Scouts. So that's why you never take any glassware hiking with you. Because if you don't break it, you set it down, it's going to get broken by an animal or nature or something else. Yeah, that's bad. And I was living up in South Lake Tahoe in 93, 94, when we had the fire up there in Lake Tahoe. That was horrible. And that was kind of accidentally started. Two little 12-year-old boys, they were out in the Carson Valley. They were taking lizards. They were getting cans of rosin low fire lighter fluid. They were spraying lizards and setting them on fire. I know it's horrible, but this is what little bit boys do sometimes. And what they didn't anticipate, this one little particular lizard ran off into sagebrush and started the fire in the northwestmost corner of Carson Valley, and it sparked and it just crawled up to Lake Tahoe. And Lake Tahoe was on fire for about maybe a good week and a half. And when I was working for the Tribune, we almost were being evacuated. No vehicles were being allowed on and off. Almost the entire stretch of Highway 50 from the Y down to Sacramento burned up. 3 weeks post, you can see nothing but foundations and chimney stacks. So they concluded how it was started, and then they came up, and it was the two little boys, and they were seen. And the little boys said, quote unquote, well, we didn't think the lizard was going to run off. So now the parents still today are paying, I don't know how many hundreds of millions of dollars in damages. So two families were affected by these two little kids. Yeah, that was like, actually more like latter part of the middle to the latter part of 94. But it was terrible. But we still stayed up there. We had to make sure the newspaper got out and everything. So. And I know that twice a year, all around Lake Tahoe, South Lake to the North Shore, Forestry Department and the police, the local authorities, excuse me, they always do sweeps, especially in the summertime. They always sweep the lower part of the foothills, extending on up from the 6,000 foot level on up, especially like Mount Rose. They make encampments and stuff like that. And though they have their Coleman stones and everything, some like to really, really rough it. So they do that for the sake of the land, because they know that a homeless person accidentally might incur a fire. So they do that. And then come October, early November, they also do sweeps to make sure people are camping, because at the end of winter, come spring, they usually find an average of maybe 4 to 5, 6 at the most dead people, dead homeless people that actually end up freezing over the winter. They do that for two purposes. So it's pretty nice. I learned a lot when I was living up in Lake Tahoe when I had my house up there. So two places where I'd actually just go back and buy property. Stevens Point, Wisconsin, and South Lake Tahoe. It was beautiful up there. Had a lot of fun. Especially when we did a corporate buyout of the Nevada Appeal. That was a lot of fun. Hard work, but it was a lot of fun. All right, Irma. No one's showing up, and you know, what I like is it escapes me. Going down into Sacramento on Highway 50, there's a one highway where you, not Marysville, but you either go to the left. Okay, I know you go to the right, and you take a beautiful scenic route. It's kind of like driving through Chino, California. Oh, darn it. Pleasanton? I think it's Pleasanton. Anyway, there's beautiful homes off to the left. It's kind of like these houses are just like strung up on the side of the cliffs. It's very beautiful. And then you got Sutter's Mill. The drive up until to Sutter's Mill is beautiful. Just rolling hills of just green, beautiful, lush property. It's just fantastic. And then you get to Sutter's Mill and it opens up. It's such a expansive piece of land. It's just gorgeous. And then you keep driving, and then you go up through Marysville and everything. So Pleasanton, yeah, it's beautiful, right? It's narrow and it's nice. It's cute. I forgot about that. I used to always stop there on the way to go to Stockton and on my way to Frisco because I'd get off of Sunset in Stockton or in Sacramento, and there was always an In-N-Out Burgers. So maybe once or twice, my friends and I would drive down there and get off on Sunset, take the right side of the exit, and go to In-N-Out Burgers, or turn left and come up the roads away and go to Chevy's. Ah, that was a long time ago. Holy cow. Livermore, yeah. Right next to Pleasanton, yeah. So you know what I'm talking about, going to Sutter's Mill. It's the same highway, just to the left is Pleasanton, and to the right you go, and another 45 minutes you're in Sutter's Mill. So. I love that part of Northern California. It's beautiful. I miss it a lot. I actually yearn for it. You know, and it's actually not, because I check the market every so often, and I keep thinking, it's actually not that expensive. My house, I mean, the house that I was renting in Lake Tahoe, that was off Ski Run Boulevard, one street down from Highway 50, and walked up 6 blocks, and I was up at Heavenly Ski Resort. Granted, it was 94, but I had a 2-bedroom with a deck in the back, washer and dryer, wood burning chimney, decent front yard, huge backyard with pine trees all over, and I was paying $550 a month, and I ended up getting a roommate. It wasn't too expensive. Living out in Christmas Valley is not that expensive either. Northern California is beautiful. I like it. And then I remember we went down to the Cal Palace to go see, I think, Metallica. And then we went down to San Jose in '95. And there was a huge club in downtown San Jose. And it was called San Jose Live. It was like 3 stories of club. The bottom part was punk rock. The middle floor was rock and roll. Oh no, the middle floor was, I think, country. And then the top floor was rock and roll, heavy metal or something like that. And they had basketball courts, shuffle tables, and skee ball. It was a huge club. It was pretty interesting. And then going out to Santa Cruz, out to the boardwalk. Go visit the train trellis from that movie. It's nice. Santa Cruz, home of the banana slug. Oakland's not so bad. Berkeley not so much, but Frisco's getting really bad. It's terrible. Just the population alone, and then sad to say about the homeless situation is it's just awful. It's just really terrible. I'd like to be able to take a drive up there. I like taking the drive up to take PCH, take the drive all the way up to the coast. Yeah, Berkeley is back in the early to mid '70s. I think it was in the latter part of the '70s that Berkeley started to change cosmetically, I guess, and it was starting to fall through the economy, and then people started moving to Oakland. But Berkeley, yeah, not so much anymore. Good morning, Janine. I'm doing great. How about yourself? I'm on my second round of caffeine. And I'm going to be having to take off here soon for class. I was saying that this is actually my last week of class. I thought I had another week to go, um, so Friday's my last day. And I think I'm just going to start a little bit later with my live streams since everybody seems to get up a little bit later. And I'm not going to be going anywhere special today. I have some things that I have to do in town. Plus, not to mention, I want to cover. If you folks have this in your area, I'm sure you do, because it's a national thing. Tonight's National Night Out. where everybody comes out in the communities and everything. It's kind of like a safe haven with local authorities. So, National Night Out. So there's two places that I would like to go and cover. One is over here where the pastor does his church thingy. And I think, because I'm going to check with the police department. And then I think there's one either in Memorial Park, which is the official place, I think. There we go. Upgrade. There we go. All right. So I need to check the bus schedule. Christy, good morning. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna have to do them later. I'm kind of hoping that Nathalie would log on because I wanted to say thank you. I got another postcard from the south of France yesterday, so yay! From France! I reach into the land of love. It was so cool because it was hot and I was kind of bummed out that the mall would have been a little bit more mall-like. Um, I shall. To where I do not know. I want to find out. There's a fire close by here, and I want to find out where it's coming from. I don't know where I'm going to go. I got to work more on my Patreon. I think I'm going to start utilizing the Patreon now that I'm doing more of this on adventures. Honestly, I need to be more funded as far as getting anywhere. So, and that's what the whole Patreon is. So I got to set. I never quite finished setting up the Patreon, so I got to do that. Yeah, but I don't think I ever finished it, so I gotta finish doing up the Patreon. And yeah, I was just so disappointed with Burbank. You know, I know they revamped it and everything, and it looks beautiful on the inside, but that mall is like definitely at least 50%, if not maybe a little less occupied. It reminded me of Mall of America. So the food court, as big as it was, only had like 4 vendors. Fudge, yeah. Oh, cupcake is so funny. But I mean, the coolest little thing is that they had a tiny little arcade, some new video games, a couple of retro ones, especially a pinball machine that took me back that I used to own, the Simpsons pinball machine. But other than that, that mall is really, for the money that's in Burbank, as much money as Burbank has, that mall is really nothing. I might do the town center. I might go this weekend to the town center. Definitely a lot more people there. And it actually won't be so hot this weekend. I'm not supposed to start there until 8:30, but I like to get there at 8. Nobody really comes there until after 10 o'clock in the morning. Hey, I wouldn't mind working for like the Ritz Carlton and being a concierge. That would be cool. At the risk of sounding tooting my own horn, being a concierge at a 5-star luxury hotel, that would be cool. I know I'd kick ass on tips. That'd be kind of cool, right? I wouldn't mind wearing the monkey suit. I could definitely work it. Now that I've started, I gotta finish updating all of this. Kitchen. I love this. um, I could do the Huntington. The Huntington's nice. That's not too far from here. There's also the W. There's the W in Hollywood. There's the W in downtown, just a couple blocks off of the block, from the block. I'm going down memory lane from this song from Seal. It's funny how they always do that nonchalant look. Right? That. That. Reboot. Should be done. Okay, my friends. Well, I'm going to have to leave. I need to get to class here. Oh, knocked out. few more days. So I would suggest if you, and I don't see why you wouldn't, have the night out in your area, take advantage of it. Get out of the house. Go do something. Be physically sociable, not sociable on a smart device. That's not socializing. Come on. You know how I roll. Irma, thank you. And again, thank you for the card. I love it. And Nathalie didn't show up, so that's okay. But Nathalie, if you watch this, I got your postcard yesterday evening. Thank you from the south of France. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And I remember you telling me about the largest medical school there. So. And I got to see the optic video. Thank you so much. All right, my friends. Folks, take care of yourselves, take care of each other, but always take care of yourself first. Love one another, trust one another, be kind to each other. Help one another. It's National Night Out. Get out of the house. Take the kids out. Roll with the neighborhood. Get to know your local police. Get to know your local firefighters, your EMTs, everybody. It's a national program. 35 years here in this country, so let's do something, you know? Don't take today for granted again or any other day thereafter. Pull down your pants and slide on the ice. Again, it's National Night Out. Get out of the house. If you like this stream, hit the thumbs up. If you like what I'm doing, period, hit the subscribe button. Hit the bell notification button. Tell your friends and family about me, about us. Almost getting there to that point. All right, my friends. I got to get to class. I'll do my vlogs tonight. I'll post them up tonight. And yeah, I'm gonna. Well, see, up until Friday, through Friday, I still have to do the live streams. I'll probably start around 5:45 West Coast time. But come Saturday morning, we're gonna start a little bit later. So, all right. You guys have a wonderful Tuesday. And don't forget, it's Taco Tuesday, so chingale. Comete los tacos. All right, my friends. I love you. Take care. Bye-bye.